because that's cool, man. Oh, kicked our ass. And that's the undergraduate was very like they call it it's like drinking from a hosepipe, from a fire hose. So imagine drinking from a fire hose. There's actually there's an acronym in MIT called IHTFP.
IHTFP.
And it means I hate this fucking place. And we have t-shirts
with that acronym.
Yes.
Because it's back to back.
I hate this fucking place.
And do people drop out?
Of course. No, people kill themselves.
Suicide.
Yeah.
Because you now even doubt who you are.
Yeah. People, I mean, mental health was a big problem in that place.
So somewhere your childhood made you to
now
face
me in my playfulness.
Like I've seen worse.
My playfulness is what got me through that
playfulness.
place.
Okay.
My playfulness where I was like, I'm easy. New York is like 5 hours by bus. Go to Chinatown, give them $10. You're in New York. You're chilling. Yeah, that's what got me through. Because, I saw it go south for quite a few people. Yeah. So it's a great. I don't know. It's a great school.
Does someone feel overwhelmed by classwork?
Everything. Imagine, yes, you're number one in Kenya. You know, what is this? So I remember, we took biology. Actually, chemistry. I remember chemistry. You have to take biology, chemistry, physics, and math. A whole year of those things.
What,
dude?
Straight up.
No matter what you're doing, even if you want to become a musician,
that's
you have to do a
mandatory.
whole year. And now that whole year, they used to say the MIT math curriculum. Like in one semester, you cover what Harvard kids are doing in like a year.
Say what?
One semester. And actually, in 2 lessons of chemistry in MIT, we covered what I did in high school.
Yeah, like I spent 4 years.
I went in there being like, dude, you don't understand, man. I am the chemical dude.
Guy.
Yeah. In 2 lessons. By lesson 3, you're like, what is this?
You're done with high school.
Yeah, you're done. Like whatever you thought you knew, it's over. Yeah.
And now you realize you don't know shit.
You realize you don't. And then the problem now is there's kids who actually
are way ahead.
Oh, I had a Nigerian friend.
Oh, from Africa.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, how the fuck taught you this stuff? How do you know this stuff, man?
But the guy knows stuff.
Oh, he was taking like 8-9 classes just for fun,
Say what?
Yeah, just doing his thing.
And he's acing everything. He's actually, they used to, if you ace something, you're called a god. So he was a god in many of the classes. What?
And a god means, man, he's the guy who the professor is actually coming to have a conversation. The rest of us are in there like, I remember actually, there was one class, we were all floating, man. I think we were 100, and this is the MIT class, 120 people floating, man. We don't know what's going on. And there were 3 kids who were always answering.
Everything, and it's right.
Yeah, but then what I loved, I think that class was very, it was a Nigerian professor actually. And he was like, he asked the question and the same 3 kids. And you know what he said? He said, can I get an answer from someone who has not taken this class before?
They had taken the class before?
Yeah, the kids, I stopped going to lecture. Because I was wondering.
How do they know this?
How do they know this?
So is it supplementary?
It's just difficult.
How come they have taken the class before?
No, because that means they failed.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're doing
and they have done the homework.
They've seen this stuff before. That's why they were torturing me. I was like.
So there is a lot of show off also.
What do they know? I mean, it's not sure. They're genuinely like learning.
They understand it.
Yeah. But I was like, no, does it mean I'm so dumb?
That everyone knows this stuff and I don't.
These guys know this stuff and I don't. But they've taken this class before. I was so happy, man.
Yeah.
So I managed to do my undergrad. I think I got a C in my last year. So I managed to fight class average mostly. I got I got a job at Morgan Stanley.
Did you get first class?
The cool thing with the now that. So when you're in your 3rd year, you now apply. So actually, you know what company you're gonna work for as you're going into your 4th year. So my 4th year was just party over here, party over there. Because I already had my job. Morgan Stanley lined up. I always wanted to work in New York.
So that's when I really now relaxed. And then I am a procrastinator par excellence.
The lazy bit.
I was so lazy, so I forgot to apply for. Now, what they don't tell you is when you get into when you apply to this, you get into the US. And the US, we can talk about the US and all its issues. It's just a new form of slavery. Yeah, it really is. Because.
And is this to the foreigners or even
to the foreigners? To the foreigners, because they take the smartest kids, and then they tie you.
They do all the job.
They tie you to an institution, right? Whether it's a school or a company.
Yes.
So if you look at my visas, they would say MIT. So if MIT decided we don't like you anymore,
you are done.
You're not allowed back into the country.
Say what?
So
if you drop,
now
that's it.
When you graduate, you have to find someone else to sponsor. So you always have a sponsor. You know, in Nairobi, how we say sponsor. It's that kind of shit, man. But now, the people who are being... Imagine if Kenya was... Imagine if the smartest kid in the US, right, was given a visa to Kenya. And we're like, Africa's talking, we're bringing you here. But if we don't like you...
You're shipped back.
Out. We're going to punish you. Dude, now that I think about it, I've never even thought about it like that. That was messed up.
Yeah, we are.
That was messed up.
Yeah.
But then they're not just, and they're doing that at scale. So they're taking like this Nigerian kid, to this day, he's still in the US. A lot of us actually end up being in the US for the rest of our lives. I actually came back to Kenya by miss. I was never coming. No way. So imagine you're coming from a place you never want to go back to. And this company is telling you, MK, if you don't, you know how today, if you don't behave, I could be like, MK, by the way, it's not. But then you're like, I'm not telling you to go back to like
the best
where you came from and all that shit.
Yeah.
But the way the visa system works in the US is that's how it works.
Yeah.
So,
even the H1, whatever.
Exactly. So for the 10 years I was in the US, I was literally tied.
And trying to look the best way possible.
Gotta look good, man.
Otherwise,
there's no room. So could I have finished? For example, so I always tell this story how I was in the same class. I was actually, one of my friends was the CEO of the guy who started Dropbox.
Yeah.
And I would never have started Dropbox because who was gonna sponsor my visa as I experimented?
So for him, he has that luxury.
He has a luxury.
Because he's not worried he's gonna be.
Zuckerberg was there deported. At the same time. He was in Harvard, right across.
Say what?
I had to figure out who was going to sponsor me.
So you have to be employed, no matter how smart you are. No matter how many ideas you have.
Yeah. So it's really, I mean, the thing is it a leg up from like where we came from back in the day? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Like, would I have preferred that to like tamaking in Nairobi?
Yes, of course.
Because I used to call it I was tamaking. I think like you hit the road until your shoes. And then now you could actually replace the sole of the shoe, you know, like...
With a car tire.
Yeah, you replace it with a car tire and then you're proper. Or would you rather be in the US, you know, working? It sounds amazing. Sometimes I talk of these things and I'm like, am I really connecting?
Privilege.
Because, you know, you're coming from a very privileged position.
But it's true.
But
if you think
also
about
like, it's all relative. Because
so you're not rewarded to be smart. You're punished.
If those guys were genuinely interested in my well-being, they should have been like, hey, here is your green card.
Here is your...
Do you, man?
Yeah.
Chill. Yeah. If you feel like you want to do a startup, whatever, like, just do your thing. And then the other... anyway.
And it's good you are saying this because it's the same case up to today. There's no change.
It hasn't changed. Yeah. But then now, what we can change is our minds, our mindset around
the mindset. I believe in that
because by the way, there's no one has power over your mind.
For sure.
No one. Yeah. No one has power over your mind. And your mind is so powerful. When I say the mind is so powerful, it can get you out of almost any situation.
Yeah.
You can... I got out of a situation where like the guy who... The male figure who was meant to love me the most was actually hurting me the most. You understand?
Yes.
So you actually get your mind to get out of it. And that's what actually, I think that's where all this Africa Stocky, I don't know, all this crap, all this stuff, not crap.
Yes.
Now I'm talking like my mom, where I'm like, why did I build this company? Was it, I know it has done so well for the ecosystem, but where was Sam when he was building this company?
Yes.
But
you have to lose yourself to know yourself or gain yourself. That's what they say.
Now that's where now trauma is a gift. You understand? So for me, I have friends who, of course, there's a lot of people who went through very normal childhoods, no drama. My friend, for example, he's in a relationship and he went through a very normal childhood. His girlfriend went through a very traumatic childhood. And I'm like, this is a difficult relationship.
Yeah.
Because the pain she's feeling right now, you've never felt that pain.
You can't understand.
You can't understand. So actually, some of the best therapists are actually, when you're doing therapy, you actually have to, it's almost like if you've gone through pain, you can actually better understand the human condition.
Yes.
Because you've seen it across all the ranges, right? And that's where trauma becomes a gift.
Yes.
Because you can talk about things that everyone is like, but that's normal.
Yes.
You know, like you can talk, like, for example, let's say something like abandonment. You know, or feeling like you're not wanted. Yes. You know, I've walked around my whole life feeling like I'm not wanted.
I know that.
My whole life.
I know that feeling.
Exactly. Now, there's people who don't know that feeling.
Yeah.
They were always walked into a room and they were welcomed with hugs and that's amazing. Yeah. And that's how we should have felt, right? But the fact that we didn't feel like that means that we can actually...
But it's a blessing. If you think about it, it's a blessing.
But when you have to get out of it for it to become a blessing.
Exactly.
If you stay in that room when you're not wanted, you're literally just driving yourself to an early grave.
Yes. Yeah,
if you stay in that room,
I'll not say this as a privileged person.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Most of the people I know who have experienced that, me included, they have found a way of getting out. They have, and those are some of the most creative people, most smartest people that you have.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's nature that carves you to be in that situation, to be able to make a difference or even to create something out of it. But that's debatable. So I don't know many people, but the ones I know, they are really smart and they have gotten out of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people I know that are really smart and still I was still in it. You know what, people? There's a difference between getting out of it and coping and learning how to cope with it.
Survival mode.
Because you can learn. The hardest thing is to learn how to cope with it. So that every time you walk into a room, you feel like you have to make yourself. You know that unwanted feeling is there, but you have, and that's where now I'll just tell guys watch Netflix. How to change your mind. Because if we take it there with mental health, where you can actually even touch your trauma. Because if you watch what those guys are saying,
I can relate. Yeah.
You can touch it in a safe way where you realize it's not. Because there's a lot of PTSD that kicks in. Even to me, it happens. I've done a lot of work on myself.
But still happens.
But it still happens. You still get into situations where you feel like, dude, I am punishing myself.
Yeah.
Self-punishment is that's a big pandemic.
Yeah.
People don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Or you're not feeling wanted. You're not feeling like the best version of yourself. By the way, that's the only version of you that should exist, the best version of yourself. You know, when you're at you're feeling good, the music, the beat, everything is good. That's the best version of you.
Yeah.
So for you to sustainably be that best version of yourself, that's where you need help. You need help, you need therapy, you need professional help that can actually get you there.
Right? I see. Yes. Have you gone through that so far? Or you're still going?
Yeah, I've done a deep clean.
Now you're good. No.
You're never good though. You never are. No.
So it's
you're
a
never
process.
Good. It's a process.
Yeah.
So because I didn't even realize how much pain I was carrying. Because it manifests in pain, what we call anxiety. That's just real pain. And that pain usually comes from the child. And until you address what caused it as a child,
you're not getting out of it.
You're not getting out of it. It will show up. It will. In fact, some pains. I've seen people whose pain go back to when they were in the womb.
What?
And they had
that's deep.
An umbilical cord coiled around their neck, I think someone talked about it in that documentary.
There's someone who talked about it.
Yeah. And it's like,
Yeah,
that's
actually,
where
first episode,
that's where the struggle began.
Yeah.
In the womb, right? And then now, what happens is you feel that struggle, you're struggling for life.
Yeah.
Then you come out and then the world keeps reinforcing the struggle. So by the time you're like 40,
So much depressed.
you are so depressed. Oh, you're so happy. But then now, and that's where now goes back to the power conversation. Because you have power, and that power is what helps you overcome the struggle. But the reason you need that power is because the umbilical cord was coiled around your neck when you were in the womb.
Say what? So that's what I wanted to, because I feel like this has gone for too long. And it's quite interesting because some of these is, maybe there are people who are going through this as we speak right now.
No. I mean, I think COVID really forced people to stop.
Yeah.
And
review.
And review, because
take stock.
Every day you leave your house to go to work, you're escaping something. Yeah.
There was a time now to say, what?
Yeah.
This is it.
I used to leave the house I was out of the house by 7 a.m. Go back at 9, 10 p.m. I was escaping.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Wake
you go
up.
back, you sleep. Next day you're up. You're not in. I used to leave before my son wakes up. Go back home
when
he's
you're
in
already
bed.
asleep.
Yeah. And I didn't see anything wrong with that. 5 days a week.
Now, you have 2 children. Okay, 3 children. One of them is not like a living human being. But you have 2 children.
They're all living human beings.
Africa's talking is not living.
I have 3 children, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah. Actually, now 4. Maybe 5 if you count all the. Yeah. But
if you count labs companies, maybe.
Talking about the
30.
human ones. Now you're taking us back to the Mau era or something. So.
Maybe that's me being like my grandfather.
Maybe you're trying to give children which can scale.
Maybe I am meant to have a lot of children. Yeah. Let's think about that.
That's deep.
Anyway, so you're gonna say.
Yeah. So I wanted to know, like, how are you changing that upbringing for your children? That you have all this experience and you know how much it can play. To some extent, if you ask me, by the way, it has played good, like 70%, and that now the depression, the anxiety, the love that you have to like go through therapy and try to fight it. So how different are you bringing them?
This is all my by the way, I hope this interview people are not getting offended.
No. This is some Gikandi.
This is
not anybody's.
This is just my opinion, man. My experience. Yeah. In my experience, the best thing that you can do for your children is tell them it's not your job to make me happy. That's it. It's not your job to make me happy.
Just be you.
And the way that you do that is by working on yourself. If you work on yourself, if you recognize where your behaviors come from, and this is actually, and I've been training myself, how do you drop certain behaviors? So for example, I'm gonna stop drinking. Can you just stop? Can you recognize that you're punishing yourself? And because children are very intuitive. You know why children are very intuitive? Because one, we don't realize that they are looking at us. You know, if a child crawls into this room, and we're having a heated conversation, I'm not gonna stop because the child is in the room, because what do they know, right? So I'm gonna continue, and they will sense my energy. They'll see this guy is sad, this guy is this guy is that.
Maybe that's the best way to be.
They're picking up the cues, right? And we have that ability as well, but as adults, it's beaten out of us. And there's very few people who retain that ability, just sense energy, like walk into this room and be like, MK, by the way, I'm out. Actually, one of my children has that. She walks in, looks out, like, no, I'm not staying in this space because the energy is not good, right? So if you don't work on yourself, your children will think
that's the best way to
that
do
it's
things.
their job to make you happy. You understand? And no child can actually make you happy. No one can make you happy. That's the thing. There is no one person, no one thing, no power, no money can make you happy.
Just yourself.
It's on you. It's you. Because whatever is not making you happy is your own pain. It's your own stuff that's not making you happy, not my stuff. No. In fact, if you think it's my stuff, you're projecting. So if you think Sam is the one that's not making it, dude, then let's have an honest conversation about where you are. So for me, that's been my experience. And I think, and I've really noticed a change in terms of my relationship with my son, in particular, who's about 6 years old. In terms of even how comfortable he is now around me, and how before, for example, my son would get hurt, and he would never come to me for comfort. You know, like maybe we are playing and like he injures himself. You can see he's in pain and he's crying, but he runs in the opposite direction. You can't even hold him.
Is it because he doesn't want to show the weakness, or?
It's his job to make me happy, so he doesn't want me to see him in pain. Yeah, because then I'm not going to be happy, right? But when he realized, actually, it's no longer my job to make it. The other day we were playing football and boom, injured himself. He came and I held him properly in front of his friends, by the way. Yeah. And
it was okay.
You can see he's now getting comfortable. He's now like, you know what? Actually, I can run to my dad for comfort.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. And then when you subject your kids to that, then the traumas kick in. And that's how I'm passing on my pain to him. If I didn't work on myself, that pain, whether I know it or not, because then it's like the dynamics between me and his mom, he'll observe those dynamics and be like, hey, you know, this guy is not happy, and maybe it's my job to make him happy.
Which actually is a wrong focus for someone who's growing.
No, he needs to be a child.
Yeah.
He needs to he needs to play.
To
That's
enjoy
all.
themselves.
Yeah, be playful, enjoy himself, chill. You know, don't worry about grown-up stuff. Children should never be grown-ups in any. You should never put your kids in a situation where they need to be grown-ups or even understand what grown-ups are going through. It doesn't make sense.
How do you impart discipline though?
You trust them.
And they're gonna be disciplined.
For me, kids just need love. Because once a kid feels like you're a safe space for them, because there are very few safe spaces, they want you to be their safe space. If your safe space is telling you, by the way, don't play with a knife, are you gonna play with that knife? No. So the moment you become a safe space for your kids,
and there's that trust.
That's it.
Now, there's something they say about power and love.
Yeah.
How do you balance the two?
Oh man, power and love. That's a whole other conversation. Oh man. So in love, I feel like in love there should be no. Because love for me is just space to grow. That's how I love you. It's not. There's nothing. It has nothing to do with power.
Yes.
I don't know what you mean by power and love, but
so this is what they say. There's a whole book about it. So and these even cut across how business are run, things like Shell, you know, all business and how they have conquered the world, how they have made other people suffer, how people go into war. So they say if you love too much, then people take advantage of the love.
Oh, okay.
If you're powerful enough,
now
you end up hurting people because they're afraid of you and they can't do anything. They can't defend themselves and they can't do anything. So for you to live a fulfilled life, you need to balance power and love. Because
what is that equation? 0.5 power? For me, love...
It's not mathematically, but how you express both. Because at the end of the day, you find yourself either expressing power and expressing love.
For me, actually, this is my I guess... I'm still on this journey. Really understanding, things. Actually, love. Boy, did I not know what love was. There's this test called love language. Yeah. Physical touch. Words of affirmation. Those. I didn't know what that was. This was last year. This is not even like
long time ago.
Yeah, because I didn't. Because usually your love language comes from how you were raised as a child. So if your parents always used to give you gifts,
yes,
gift giving becomes your love language. So if someone wants to show that they love you, they give you a gift.
Yeah.
If you're not sure that you love someone, you give them gifts. If it's, physical touch, which a lot of us men, by the way, we don't know anything about physical touch because we grew up in a world where...
So there's some type of way you're supposed to touch someone if you love them.
There's a way that physical touch and love can be interchanged with no agenda. There's no other agenda. There's no...
just love.
It's not sexualized. It's just love, right?
But we're going to talk about sexuality here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about those things.
Yeah.
So there's a way in which... Because for me, in love and power are actually two completely separate topics. I don't think you can. I don't think there's a need to marry both of them. And I'm getting to a point where I'm like, if I'm in a situation where I have to use power, then I need to be asking myself, why am I in this environment where I have to use power? It doesn't make... And power, if you think about the most raw form of power, it's physical violence. Like what Chris Rock and Will Smith... like that was a demonstration of power. You know, that's what power looks like. I can
slap you and you can't do shit.
In front of everyone, in front of the world. That's Will Smith showing us how powerful he is, right? That's what power looks like. Why the fuck would you have...
such power?
If I love you...
And even if you had it, why would you use it that way?
So for me, it's like, why are you even in that situation? If you're in a situation and you have to use your power, get out of it. Get out of it. Like, if I'm Chris Rock, I'm like, fuck, then Will Smith is not my friend. I'm not going to hang with that dude. Because that guy has his own shit that he's dealing with. I'm going to hang with people who are not going to slap me.
Yes.
You understand? So if you think about it like that, it's...
Yeah.
And for me, love, I think, because I really, and this is again my opinion on love. And,
yes.
It's really just about, and I think I've really practiced that in AT. I've tried to practice it.
Yes.
To the best of my
ability,
given where I am in my journey. I think people also forget. I'm
You're also
on a
growing.
journey. I think for me, love was just that. I think about love in the form of two trees that are growing next to each other.
Yes.
Those trees love each other by creating an environment for each other to grow. That's it. They give each other the space to grow. Actually, when you see a tree now invading another tree's space, I mean, that's not cool, right?
and some trees do that, actually. You remember those trees that hit
they're trees,
each other?
Yeah, but they are helping that other
cool.
tree to grow,
yes,
right?
Yes,
so
yes.
they're giving that tree the space to...
The
maybe the
life.
tree cannot stand straight, so they're like, here, you can just lean on me. And
No, the others that eat the elder tree and then they finish it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wow, that is some American trees. I don't
know.
No. Anyway,
I'll show you sometime because.
But again, for me, because I feel like if you're in a relationship and you love someone and you feel like you're not growing in that relationship, then it's over. There's no love in that relationship. It's actually impossible for you to say you're in love when you're not growing, right?
Yeah.
So if you're in a situation where you're growing, or you're in a company where you're growing as a human being, and you feel that growth, you're gonna love that place.
Yes.
Because it's giving you the most basic need
life
of life, which is growth.
Yes.
Growth is the most basic need.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that's my definition.
Yeah. Even going back to the tree.
Yeah.
The tree that eats the other tree, after it finishes eating the other tree, it dies off because there is no more tree to eat into.
You see? You see how that works? Don't eat the other tree. Let it.
So the tree example still stands.
It still stands.
Yeah. So amazing stuff. So next time we're gonna meet. This was a good conversation. The next time we're gonna meet, we talk about sexuality, how you got into code, building, working for conglomerate, Hong Kong, MIT chicks. How is the sex life there now that you are at
MK?
This kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the point of this conversation is just to share and disseminate knowledge. Because if you look at the African tech ecosystem, there's no one place you could get that knowledge. We're not doing so well at documenting our own knowledge. Because, yes, tech knowledge cut across the spectrum, but there's a way we are building stuff. There's what inspires us to build different solutions.
There's an environment. Yeah.
And we need to tell those stories. Because the next generation that is coming, they are focusing on AI, big data, cloud. How are they going to learn from our experiences in building even better solutions that can scale, not continent-wise, but global-wise? How can they contribute into the rocket science? Stuff like outer space. So that we don't... Okay, Elon is out there.
Elon is an African, by the way.
He's an African, but we need more Elon, right? So thank you so much, Sam.
Yeah.
And it's great having this conversation. And I look forward to having more and more conversation. Thank you so much for those who are listening. Have a good day.